What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm doing a demo of this Donner, it's a DST-550. I was on Facebook and one of those ads popped up and it said, get this guitar for like $220 something, and then I got an additional 5% off or so. Anyway, ended up being $213 with tax, shipped, all in. So of course I expected it to be a total POS. But I was actually really surprised. And so the reason I'm demoing this is I get asked a lot from friends and that people have kids that are learning how to play guitar, and they always ask me, they're like, what would you recommend? They're just starting out, they don't know if they're really going to be into it or not. And normally, I would say, one of the Squires, because those are actually really great, compared to how they were when I started playing guitar, which was they were almost unplayable. But I have to say, I'm doing this video because I would actually recommend this guitar to a beginner learning. And the reason being is that the neck is pretty great. It's flat, it's got a flat radius, it's got a 16-inch radius. The fretwork's not great. When I first got it and played it, when your fingers are all turned black, that's not a great fret job. They weren't polished really well. So that's kind of one of the negatives to this guitar. But other than that, I didn't have to adjust the action at all. The saddles appear to be really good, decent quality. The nut appears to be cut pretty good. It stays in tune. It took about a day for it to settle because it was outside in the freezing cold for a minute, and so it took a minute for it to kind of settle in and kind of the tuning to get stabilized. But clearly what they're going for here are the Ibanez AZ series. And you can tell by the back how this, if you look at the back of an AZ, it's almost identical. As far as this contour right here and everything. And I suspect probably the neck feel, the profile. I haven't played an AZ, so I can't say for sure. But it feels like an Ibanez type neck. The other negative for me personally are the frets aren't tall enough. I like a little bit taller frets. So these are more kind of what I would consider vintage, which is kind of weird considering that this is kind of supposed to be more of a modern type feel. I'm sure that has to do with cost. And I will say also that the pickups aren't terrible. They actually sound pretty good. This is a coil tap for the bridge, and it's okay. This bridge is not great sounding. I did have to raise it up quite a bit. But like I said, for a budget guitar, for somebody that's just starting out, they don't know anything from Adam, I really do recommend this, especially if you can get it for what I got it for. I think on Amazon they generally float around $250 to $289 or something like that. Now when you're getting into the $300, $400 range, I might actually look at the Ibanez AZ budget line, because I think the new ones that are coming out this year are they're under $500, and probably the quality is going to be more consistent. I can't say whether or not if the quality from guitar to guitar coming out of wherever factory these are built are the same. Maybe they are. I mean, I've seen other reviews where people spoke pretty highly of these, for the money. But yeah, other than that, my only other complaint is it's got a push-in trim, and then there's a little Allen screw right here to tighten it so that it kind of stays where you want it. The only problem with it is it's that the hole that it goes into is bigger than the size of the trim arm. So there's so it kind of wiggles before it actually will move the bridge, which is a little annoying because I'm used to it being really tight and everything. So that's the only other complaint that I have. And you know, the back, you can see you can adjust your string tension or your trem tension without having to take this plate off. These are the original strings that came on it. I haven't changed the strings yet. I've had this guitar for about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks now. But yeah, so let's get into some sound demos. Oh, the other thing too, it's got locking tuners, which I thought was pretty crazy. I mean, to me it's crazy anyway to be able to build a guitar that's actually, you know, the paint job is great. You can see little finishing flaws if you look hard enough. There's some kind of not so great finishing around these little washers and the holes that the neck is going into. It's pretty bad. But you know, what are you gonna say for like $213, right? But anyway, let's get into it. So I'm gonna start off with the bridge pickup. I'm gonna start off with like kind of a heavier tone. So the signal path is basically the guitar into my quad Cortex. I'm using my all-in-one preset that I've got shared on the cloud. If you want to grab that, that's an awesome sounding preset in my opinion. I'll turn the reverb down a little bit. So you can see the tuning stability is pretty good. And that's pretty good. I mean, I gave it hell and it's still in tune. It won't dive completely down. It does hit the edge of the body before it gets, like, in other words, you can't push this all the way down to the body, which, you know, most people don't anyway. Pretty good sounding bridge pickup. I mean, for a cheap guitar, I mean, I've heard way worse pickup. So just light use of the trem, stayed in tune pretty good. I feel like it's getting hung up on the nut. So the nut probably needs to be lubricated. So that's the bridge, and then if you push down on this switch, it puts it in, it splits the coils. Probably more evident in a cleaner style tone, cleaner setting tone. So position 2 or 4, however you want to look at middle. Neck, middle. And neck. Definitely low output pickups because I've got a lot of gain. I mean, for me, a lot of gain. Back off the volume a little bit. Got the volume at about 4. Volume all the way back up. So neck pickup. Not bad sounding pickups. A little lower output than I'm used to, so I feel like I'm having to dig a lot more to kind of really get some. Back to the bridge. Neck. Bridge. So it's pretty evenly balanced level-wise. So that is the dirty. Let me go to cleaner. So this is a clean-ish tone. I'll start at the bridge. Tell you what, I'm gonna actually clean this up quite a bit. Pick that out. So we can actually hear. If I do the coil tap, full humbucker, split, go to the next position. A little reverb. Middle. Neck and middle. And then just neck. So if I go to neck or bridge, middle, and then do the tap. Full humbucker. Okay, so that tap doesn't do anything unless it's just in humbucker. Just too bad. That would actually be kind of cool to have single, but... Alright, and I guess that's really about all I have to say. The frets need to be... They're a little sharp. There's a little fret sprout, as they say. It's not gonna... I mean, it doesn't bother me. I don't hang around the edge of the neck. It's not like I'm doing, you know... I'm not gonna cut myself. But, you know, the fret work is not incredible. But I'll say, like I said, it came set up. I didn't have to do anything. The intonation was spot on. Intonation was spot on. I didn't have to mess around with anything. I feel like if I put new strings on here and string it up the way that I like to string them up, which is I will, even though there's locking tuners on here, I still like to have quite a bit of wrap, and I'll wrap it down to kind of even lower that break angle even more, even though there's string trees right here. I feel like filing the nut slots will help aid in putting some graphite in there. Will help aid in any tuning instability that you may run into. But dude, I love the color. The color is kind of like a cream white, and then it's got this kind of like the front of a Marshall Plexi kind of pick guard, which is kind of cool against this color. And I thought this was going to be kind of a throwaway, but I tell you what, it's actually fun to play. The neck is great, and it's really thin. I would call this like a D shape. But it's fairly flat. Well, it's really flat. Like I said, 16-inch radius is really flat. Which helps you be able to get the action really low, too. I could probably lower the action a little bit more. I didn't even have to adjust the truss rod at all. That's the other cool thing. Truss rod adjustment right here. I mean, this thing checks all the boxes as far as everything that I look for in a guitar. And I can't say enough about it for, like I said, for what I paid for it. And like I said, if you know, I don't know if the price is going to go up, because there's been quite a few demos of these guitars, and it seems like anytime that happens, then they kind of start inching that price up a little bit. But just look for a deal, and I think like when I clicked on the link, it said, you know, you give them an email address, and they gave me an additional percentage off, which, like, again, I was blown away. $213 for me. The only other thing is there's a little ding in the neck right here. That was the only blemish that I saw, and to me, not worth returning for. I'm gonna ding it myself at some point anyway. And it's not like it's not like I'm really gonna hurt the resale value of a $200 guitar. It's kind of like, I mean, it is what it is. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this little demo. And if you have anybody that's looking for a cheap guitar, look up the Donner DST. What is it? No, I don't mess it up. DST-550s. There's actually cheaper ones that are all single coils. If you don't want a humbucker in the bridge, I think they have another model that's even cheaper than these. I can't speak to the quality of those, but every demo that I saw of these, people were pretty shocked, and I have to say that I'm no different. I was blown away. You know, roasted maple neck. It looks just like an AZ. If you look at the back of an AZ, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. It's the same exact little carve. You know, great access up to the upper frets. Yeah, what can you say? It's awesome. But anyway, thanks for checking this out, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out. Thanks.